The purpose of the NCCS Unity and Diversity effort is to intentionally reflect
the biblical mandate to love our neighbors as we love ourselves,
boldly and courageously celebrating diversity,
seeking equity, and fostering a culture of hospitality and inclusion.
We strive to deepen our understanding,
respect, and love for others,
while assessing and improving our programs
and experiences, resulting in a beautifully diverse and biblically inclusive community
that is enriched and unhindered
as we impact the world for Christ.
I care because I believe that diversity and inclusion is the responsibility of everyone, which can't be abdicated, to embrace the gift of life that God has given us in ways that appreciate and not simply tolerate the differences that He's created. And so for that, I'm committed to trying to find ways to help us be better and do better as it relates to this subject.
I care because I believe that having a diverse and inclusive environment, it is essential for the kids to learn to love everyone like Jesus did.
I care because God created a beautiful world, filling it with rich diversity. I desire to teach my students that in diversity there is beauty and there is strength. God's creation is worth celebrating, especially in our precious school.
Why does this matter to me? It matters to me because every tongue, every nation, and every culture will stand before the throne and celebrate the King when eternity comes. And I think God loves every individual, and He sent His Son to take away the barrier between us, which is sin. And I think we ought to demonstrate that love with every person, no matter how different they are. And of course, we want to guide kids in biblical principles, but the diversity within that is something we should embrace as we want to see our school reflect that same group that will be before the throne when that day comes.
I care because God does not show favoritism. He created each of us with unique talents, gifts, abilities, and purpose, and I'd like my kids to grasp that sooner than I did.
I care because as a pastor and a mommy, a woman of color and a woman of Hispanic ancestry, I have had multiple experiences, even as a woman, just multiple experiences in different types of environment that weren't always comfortable. When I chose this school for my children, I chose it because it was a safe environment, spiritually and physically. But I also wanted it to be a safe environment for their character and even celebrate their differences. As a woman of color, as people of color, we are taught to be proud of who we are, but that's not always celebrated. So I want the children to not only celebrate themselves, but celebrate others who are different than them, be it socioeconomic, their ethnicity, their learning style, whatever those differences are. I want not only for them to celebrate others, but to be proud of who they are in this environment. This is a Christian school, and I want it to reflect not just in name, but also in action and practice.
I care about the unity and diversity here at NCCS because I think it reflects greatly how God intends for us to glorify Him.
I care about diversity and inclusion because I love people and I love all people. And I think every individual should have the opportunity to bring their full selves to the table, to bring the benefit of their experience, the benefit of their background, the benefit of their education, whatever their dimension of diversity is, everyone should have the opportunity to have that presented, celebrated, and embraced. That's the reason I'm a part of this diversity and inclusion initiative at North Cobb Christian School.
I care about unity and diversity at North Cobb Christian School, both for our school and then also if you pull back on the lens for our world and from a perspective of eternity, we know that diversity is God's design. If we look in Revelation 7:9, it says that at the end of all things, we will be together before the throne of the Lamb, standing with every tongue and tribe and nation. And then Jesus taught us to pray, saying, Lord, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's God's will for a beautifully diverse world. So we want to be the hands and feet to help his will be done, his perfectly diverse creation come together on earth as it is in heaven.
Diversity matters to me because it's important that we enrich and that we empower our children to impact the world for a greater good.
And this is why I care. When Jesus was preaching on the Sermon on the Mount, he said, in his prayer, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And he also said in another passage, the kingdom of heaven is this, righteousness, peace, and joy. And so what righteousness is right standing with God and with men. That means to make things right when things were not right. Peace in God and peace with man, and joy. So we're supposed to enjoy God and enjoy the presence of each other here on earth. And so we're called to bring that heaven down to earth.